What has quarantine ruined for you? Sleep schedule, and day schedule, and eating schedule. Voluntarily staying home by myself. That's literally what I came here to say. Yep, introversion was cool before it went all mainstream. I guess I'm a genuine introvert. I could do this for the rest of my life. I keep telling extreme extroverts that the tables have turned temporarily, and now they know how we've felt our entire lives. I feel bad for those who can't take the seclusion, but I have otherwise thoroughly enjoyed this time. Same though. The pandemic is tragic, and I feel for people suffering through losses. But as for isolation, I'm really digging no forced socialization, no parties. As a gamer and a knitter, I've got so much here to keep me busy that I'm not going crazy like some people are. School. I'm not a fan of normal school, but god do I hate online school. Same. I hate video calls and the amount of excessive work. WLLITZAC are only northeast, isn't it? So that means I should assign you 10/9 as much homework as usual are at height. Lost all my motivation to do work, so the added amount of assignments doesn't help at all. This is accurate. I went from being a straight A student to having the pass and faux mentality real quick. Grocery shopping. It was bad enough before. I thought one-way aisles and 6 feet apart would help with the experience. But people can be such assholes. Right there with you. The one-way aisles drive me nuts. Here I'm plotting my course through the grocery store, still having to circle around because I forgot something. And as soon as I'm done taking the long way around, some asshole walks right past me going the wrong way. Every time. I feel terrible because I was the asshole the last time we went grocery shopping. Our tiny town has only one store and there aren't directions, so when we went to the big store a ways away I was just meandering as usual. It took me way too long to realize I was going the wrong way basically every aisle. At least it wasn't busy. I felt like a dick. You feel terrible because you walked the wrong way in the grocery store? Oh, Reddit. I was trying to transition out of my current career when this whole thing came down. Now all that's on hold for several months. I'm in the same boat. I fucking hate what I do. Made it through a rough fall and was starting to turn things around. Now I feel trapped with no end in sight. In a normal world I would just quit since I have a year's worth of expenses saved. But my wife was laid off and I don't think anybody will be hiring soon. It's not that I hate what I do, I dislike it, but honestly I'm too worn down to hate it. But there's absolutely zero future in it. I've hit the peak as far as career advancement at my current employer for the next 6-8 years at least. And this job doesn't pay enough for the things I want to do in my life during those years. Move into a less shitty apartment. Start a family. Start saving enough money to maybe one day put a down payment on a small house. It barely pays enough for what I have right now, and that's a single bedroom in a shared apartment that my landlord decided to jack up the rent on during an actual pandemic. My employers are good to me, and it's a good job for someone who's just out of college. But college was over 3 years ago, and I need to start advancing in my career now. Not when I'm 34. My family. Lost my dad because of the virus. Edit. I'd like to thank everyone for the kind words. They really mean a lot. I hope you guys are well and staying safe during these tough times. I'm so sorry. It's sobering for us to be complaining when people have lost so much. I disagree. I lost my grandfather to the virus as well. However, the fact that I and other people lost loved ones due to this does not take away anyone else's right to complain. This virus affects everyone and everyone will either permanently or temporarily lose something, so we all have the right to complain and be fed up. I completely agree with your sentiment. Knowing that a little kid out there is dying of cancer doesn't mean having bad allergies doesn't suck. Even though you know the cancer kid has it objectively worse. Acting like we have to pretend to be perfectly content because others have it worse is terrible for mental health. Grieving over your own losses and discomforts is part of the process to healing. Spring semester. Summer break job opportunities. Probably fall semester too. Major late. Was supposed to travel to US for my masters in this year's fall. Even quit my job after I got college admits. Now it's ducked up and I'm without a job. My body. I got fat. Me too. Guess everyone gained a few. I lost a couple. I lost 20. Turns out all that fast food on my lunch break was why my diet wasn't working. Sleeping pattern. My gym progress. Amen. I for one can't wait until gyms reopen. It's the thing I'm looking forward to the most. My sleeping pattern is also off. I guess it's because our daily routines have been thrown off and we're not leaving the house as much anymore. I make sure to go on jogs and walks every day. Fresh air helps. But still my sleeping pattern and overall quality of sleep isn't the same as pre-COVID. Same. But I'm also kinda terrified that when I go back to the gym, I'm going to injure myself again. I gave myself one hell of a muscle injury with nerve involvement because go big or go home. Am I right? Back in January, that took several months for me to overcome. And when I injured myself, it was because I dared to step outside my comfort zone and try something new at the gym. Something I thought I knew how to do correctly. From watching a crap ton of YouTube videos on and from watching others at the gym as well. Nope. 2.5 weeks in, I injure myself. Think I'm not as injured as I am. Keep doing what I'm doing and injure myself worse. While I still want to do what I was doing, using the rowing machine. I'm scared to go back to using it because I'm afraid I'll hurt myself again. And that makes me sad and pisses me off at the same time. While I like using the treadmill and the stationary bike, I loved using the rowing machine. It was like some ancient Viking part of my DNA was like, yes, this is my thing, and then I got hurt. So now, I don't know what to do. Do I stay in my lane as it were and just use the treadmill, or do I dare get back on that rowing machine and potentially injure myself again? Are there any rowing groups in your area that may offer lessons? I was on crew for a semester in college, and I feel like it was just long enough for me to realize 90% of people have no idea what your form should be on that machine. My resolution to be more social this year. Or ever it seems. Yes. I realized last year a lot about myself regarding my past trauma and how it carries over into my short-term relationships, who I look to date, and how I go about it. I'm grateful for the experience. But at the time the self-realization past trauma, the breakup, winter, and my job was overwhelming to process. My mental health. How you holding up friend? Open bracket. I'm holding. I was hospitalized last month because I almost tried to hang myself. Damn. A close family member was hospitalized recently for a similar reason. Please hold on, if not for your own sake, but for the sake of those around you. They will sorely miss you should anything happen. Trust me. Hope you're doing better now. Video games. It actually came to the point where I do not want to play video games any longer. Like what? Also my mental health. But that was unstable to begin with, if we are being honest. I feel this way about starting a new TV series on Netflix or any streaming services. I lost motivation or interest to start it and just watch comedy specials on YouTube instead. I lost interest in basically everything. I sleep in as long as possible, and as soon as I wake up, I start looking forward to going back to sleep. Days of the week. It's all a blur now. Is it Monday? Is it Saturday? Who knows? They all feel the same. Is today Supergirl or Rick and Morty? People. I work in a convenience store during the graveyard shift, and there were tons more people during the lockdown coming in with all their kids at night for snacks and letting their kids touch everything. And people have been in general way more rude to me. I work in a supermarket packing out shelves. Signs everywhere telling people to keep to a distance, but now crowding round me or leaning across to pick things up rather than waiting 10 seconds or saying excuse me. I don't like people doing that anyway, but now it's just a mistake. Also work in a supermarket and this shit is constant. People see a no entry sticker, literally look at it, and then duck off through it like they're special. Duck me. Hot dogs. It's just not the same without that old Romanian man in the park selling me his homemade hot dogs on a bun. Oh man. I was just telling my girlfriend what I wouldn't give for a hot dog. I miss them so much. For me it's Burger King. I know they're still open for drive-thru, but if there's a restaurant that will give me covered It's Burger King. I've actually been really impressed with their drive-thru. All the employees wear masks, which is rare where I live, visibly hand sanitize, and hand you your food in a bin they hold on to. I got the chance to visit the health department in my town not long ago. The local Burger King was the only restaurant that consistently got highest marks on its inspections. I stopped there once since the pandemic hit, and they put my credit card in a sanitized bag that they then put into a bin to give to me. I studied many years for my PhD and was supposed to have a fancy ceremonial defense in the Netherlands in a building hundreds of years old and a committee with funny hats and friends and family all over. We did it virtually last week and of course it was a fun day, but no way in person wouldn't have been cooler. Also, the worst part was the internet cut out for my promoter just when they announced the doctorate in his entire neighborhood. So we missed the traditional speech he would have made about our time together. Also, wedding celebration has been delayed from this summer to August 2021. Oof. I feel you. I studied in the Netherlands and was so disappointed when I started my PhD in Switzerland and they told me the ceremony is just an hour-long conversation with your 2 supervisors. No horror arrests for me. Muscles. Gotta hit up YouTube for some at-home workouts. Check out Anabolic Aliens. The guy's kind of a dork, but his workouts are killer. Anabolic Aliens is awesome. Love the 5-minute bicep routine with resistance cables. My physical health. Weirdly, that's the one thing that has improved for me. Guess I just decided that I had enough with being unhappy about my body and decided to get in better shape. Good for you, man. Keep it up. Thanks, man. I'm going to do my best. Pants. I can't remember the last time I wore jeans. Jeans are the spawn of the devil. Preach. My wife got us tickets to Letterkenny Live for my birthday. It was going to be a whole thing with a fancy hotel and dinner plus a trip to the aquarium since we were going to be in ATL. Make the most of it. Did you at least get a refund? Since they postponed, we didn't get a refund for the show. We still have tickets technically. We cancelled everything else and got refunds. I no longer have work or a source of income and I have lost too much weight. Are you okay? Do you need a little money for food? I can't send much, but would be happy to send you some for a meal or something. Nah man. I'm lucky to have good friends. I've just never been in this kind of situation before. I've always worked. It's just been a lot to get used to and everyone seems to be going a bit stir crazy. The thought that homeschooling my children may actually be better for our collective mental health. Turns out, my little social butterflies don't really handle being alone. And I'm exhausted of being mom, teacher, and best friend 24/7. I can't wait for fall. My cousins homeschool during normal times and are still going insane right now. Because usually they have a ton of other activities with social interactions, horseback riding lessons, Girl Scouts, an environmental club, events, just normal hanging out with friends. Pandemic homeschooling equals homeschooling. Festivals. Had a ticket for Glastonbury's 50th anniversary as well as half a dozen other fest tickets for various major European events. To say I'm pissed would be a slight understatement, though I understand that my hobby is pretty low on the list of priorities in this world right now. The amount of gigs I had coming up that have been pushed back a year makes me want to cry. On the plus side, I have saved quite a bit of money through not buying tickets to every concert I see. Competing at the 2020 Olympic Trails. What sport do you compete at? I'm pissed enough about not getting to watch the Olympics to be honest. Swimming. 100 meters free. Damn. I swam competitively years ago. Going to trials for free. You must be freaking fast. Where are you from? Also, sorry to hear about trials. That'd be so hard. I'm from South Africa. And no, going to trails is not free XD. But I'm going to be honest, I don't miss swimming. I have been out of the water for 2 months now and have realized that I miss things a lot more than what I dedicate my life to. Hey, thanks for watching and don't forget to subscribe.